This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. We will start with pattern test framework design today. We will know what is pattern test, why we are using it, how it is helpful into big data and ETL testing. The first point we'll discuss difference between distinct and pattern. So when we are designing the pattern test, we are trying to do or understand patterns from the data. And if you come, you know what is distinct. So for example, if we have one column called date and we wanted to find out what are the distinct values, we will get these four distinct values are available into the data. Now if you have 1 million distinct records, you will get 1 million numbers. That is very difficult to understand or analyze how many patterns that we have in my data. So this pattern will give you what are the formats are available into this date column. So suppose I have this four columns or four data in the date column. Now I wanted to understand the patterns. So if I check the patterns, it will come something like this way. So if you think this is the correct format and rest of the formats are invalid, you will be able to understand by seeing the pattern result that these are the invalid formats. So these numbers are invalid, but this is the correct valid numbers. So you might see in the development when the developers has given to code. So when you will run this pattern on this date column, there might be millions of records. You might see at least close to 1 million records are this format, and these are the very less formats are like that. So you can easily identify what all are the patterns are available in your data and what is the different type of formats that are there. So this is the first thing. Pattern. What is pattern? Now new developments. Already your code in productions and there are some data is already flowing. Now I wanted to add one more new source. So for example, now my business is running on only India. So the data that we are getting all are from country India. These are the name, city and country. I'm getting into the production data. Now my business extend and I am starting my new business into UAE. So this source also should be added into the current ETL or the ETL code. So what I have done is I have added this logics into the code and started running my code into the development platform. So what I can see is I will see this data plus this data should come to my development and production also. But when it will come to the testing team, they have to first understand the logic and then they have to start testing. So this is very simple logic. So it looks very simple that yeah, this few records are coming. But if your record is very complex, that time it would be, or the logic is very complex and code is huge, that time it would be very difficult to do the functional testing. So in that case, the first and initial step is pattern test. You can do it. So already these are the valid patterns that we have, and this is the new patterns. So now if I compare this pattern and this pattern, we will get some difference. If there is any issues with the code, we'll get some different pattern. Here if you see, the city is all a small lowercase or it is in lower and uppercase, both are there. Okay, so in that case we can say there could be some issues because in the new development all are coming capital and small letter, but in old development it is coming as smaller case. So investigation could be should be there. Now if you see, while developers has done the investigation, they are saying that we are not doing any kind of lower or upper scenarios here. It's coming from the source, we keep it as is, it's fine. But you can highlight similar way that if there is any other format changes are happening with old and new format, that time you can highlight it. Then one more thing is outlier detections. So now this is how the data is coming, and if you consider this is active flag is active always 0 and 1. Okay, when we will run the pattern test, we will see this 2 is the outlier in the data. So that's how we can identify if there is any outlier is there or not. Okay, then stats in each column. So stats means it will give you the counts, it will give some max value, means and null counts. So for string columns, how it will give you min, max and median. Okay, so for string columns, it will take the length. So what is the max length, mean length and minimum length, and null counts if it is there. If it is a numeric values, then max value would be 2 is and mean value should be 0. Okay, that's how it will give you the results. So it is uh, good to understand what are the patterns that I have in the code. You might see there could be lot of various kind of the patterns. Now we will see in the next sessions how we can able to design this pattern framework. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Till then, bye.